What's up, Renee? I'm so excited to talk to you today. Dr. Renee Sunday in the house. I am so stoked. She's talking about finding your purpose, and she is with Renee Sunday Enterprises. So if you definitely want to check her out, she has some great content. But let's go and dig deep on finding your purpose. And for those people that don't know, can you give a little bit of background about you, Dr. Renee?
That'll be great, Brandon. Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. I am Dr. Renee Sunday. As you can tell, I have a Southern tone. I'm a Southern belle. I'm from originally from Alabama, but I'm here in hot ATL, Atlanta. And I really grew up in humble beginnings. My parents, they didn't spare the rod, if you guys remember. They were very disciplined. I grew up in a Christian background. And I always had the role model of my sister. We're 4 years apart. She would always study. So that actually came down to me. But I actually went through a lot of bullying because I'm sitting down now, but I'm very tall in stature. And actually, I was very slim and I wore glasses. Four eyes, as people would call me. My nickname was Olive Oil, Brandon. But I went through that, and my parents, they were so amazing. Back then, they didn't call it bullying, but that's what it really was. And so they taught me through that. We went through and got me through that, and I overcame that. And just to fast forward, my sister, she's a physician in Alabama. And so I followed her roadmap, actually, really. And I became a physician. I'm an anesthesiologist. I've been doing it for 20 years.
That's amazing.
And I've been awarded twice as one of the top anesthesiologists in the United States. So I'm very grateful because patients recommended me, not my colleagues. So I thought that was amazing.
That's amazing.
But, I always had that feeling, though, Brandon, that I wanted to do more. I really wanted to help people. And unfortunate, as we know, a lot of people say pain goes to purpose. And so my brother passed away over 10 years ago now. And that was the closest person that in my family that had passed away. And he actually passed away from, I want to say this, but from an abdominal aneurysm. And what that is, just in a simpler term, the main vessel in our body that actually takes blood all over our body. And it was because he didn't know he had high blood pressure. And he was in college doing a presentation and he passed out. And no one knew, Brandon, CPR. I know now we have the AEDs everywhere we go, but no one knew but the custodian. And they revived him, and actually he had to have emergency surgery, and he passed away. But I actually was fortunate that I actually talked to him, and he squeezed my hand before he left this earth. But Let me tell you, when people say therapy, and I'm a physician, I'm going to say it, therapy is good. So I went through the grieving process with a counselor. And I noticed that I had amazing creative talent of writing because I journaled my way through the grieving process. Next thing I know, fast forward, I published several books. Then I had a publishing company. I got into media because at that time, I'm dating myself to the young people. At 2013, not too many physicians were really on social media like we are now.
Right.
So I got on social media to publish my book. To promote my book. And then next thing you know, I end up in media, I end up on all these platforms. But if I look back, Brandon, unfortunate, I went through that pain of losing my brother, but it ignited me and my purpose. So now I'm able to help other people build a platform. And I always say this, to be seen, be heard, and get paid, because we have to get paid because it's honorable.
No, you definitely have to. And if you have a skill, it is a passion to do something and to teach others, it is your duty to give that skill to other people, to enlighten them and to help them change the world just like you're doing. I think that's amazing. So just out of curiosity, can you tell me some of these books that you've written so I can share it to our audience? I would love to actually have them be able to read some of these amazing books that you have.
Well, the very first book that I wrote was actually is really a tribute to my brother. But what we did is we told our story, but we gave people the steps, as you will, to go through the grieving process.
Wow.
And I always tell people grieving is different. So that's the first book is Sunday Grief MD. So it takes you through that pathway. And then the next book is so interesting how things evolve, Brandon. I end up the next book is about entrepreneurship. Because people don't realize that you have to have a great and stable mindset in order to really walk into entrepreneurship. And so that is called manifestations now, because we need to realize right now, as you said earlier, that the gifts inside of us, the genius inside of us, as I call it, someone needs that product and services to actually move to their next level in life. And then after that, it's amazing. I don't have kids, but I have at least 20 God kids. And then the next series actually ended up being a children's book platform. And the character is called Sam. He's Sam the shark. So we love sharks. And he actually tells kids how easy it is to do the daily things we don't like to do, like brush our teeth, fix our bed, eat our vegetable. And also Sam tells the kids it's okay to be different. So right. That actually have taken off Brandon to a whole brand by itself. I'm not the face, of course, of Sam. It's a purple shark, and he has his own thing. And then the most recent book doing this season that we're in, I actually circled back because I'm in the medical field, and people say, how can you be so nice, so jovial, if you will, during this season? And I wrote a book about 75 things that we can do to eliminate stress. So it's 75 ways to decrease or eliminate stress, because sometimes we want to eliminate it all the way, Brandon, but sometimes we want to really eliminate it and actually decrease it in our life. So it's practical things that we take for granted about appreciating nature, celebrating, small, winnings, eating ice cream, of course. But that's some of the books that I've written. I have been afforded to be in a lot of collaborations and also a lot of ebooks. But the whole thing is, Brandon, I just want people to smile, because if we smile, we don't realize. I'm gonna bring my medical background in just for a minute. We actually stimulate hormones in our body that we're excited. And next thing you know, you've written the whole play, you've written the whole book, you started your whole business just by that excitement. So that's what I want people to do, is just smile. And then before you know it, you're at your next level in your destiny.
I love that you have a wide range of books and topics, from kids' books to entrepreneurship to just eliminating stress. I mean, so many people don't understand the horrible or things that happen to our bodies when we're under stress. I mean, people just think it's internal stress, but there's also external stress just by our environment, just by being in stressful situations or being around just people that we don't like. So many people just think that stress is worrying about some little thing, when it is actually a whole plethora of different stressors in our life that actually is like the number one killer is stress. And it's insane, because if you're stressed out, your hormones aren't firing, you go into this flight or fight mode, and you start just putting stress in our body is very, very harmful. And it is almost the number one killer, I think, from what I understand. And kids' books, I mean, starting them so young to do these things and create these habits is phenomenal. I think that puts a smile on my face, because so many people just don't teach their children, simple little things like creating behaviors and patterns in their life, like making the bed or making sure that you keep up with, brushing your teeth. Because if you don't brush your teeth, you could get like gum disease, which goes into the bloodstream, which could cause heart attacks and all these little things that you might not think that brushing your teeth is going to make a big difference, but it is. It's not just because you have bad breath. It's actually health benefits to brushing our teeth and getting rid of plaque and making sure that doesn't go into the bloodstream and cause all sorts of other issues. And then you obviously add that with stress. And I love that you said being different, because being different and as an entrepreneur is, I think a lot of us are very different and we don't want to fit in. We typically are people that have these wild ideas and actually act upon them. And I think that's amazing. So I definitely am going to check out all these books. I actually wrote them all down. I'm going to have them in the show notes so you guys can definitely check them out. I'm guessing they're on Amazon or maybe your website. Okay, cool.
They're in both places.
That's amazing. So I definitely will link those if you guys want to check those out. They sound just amazing. So what is a platform builder? I mean, it seems like you have your platform, you have your books. What do you do as a platform builder?
That's a great question, Brandon. And then I want to step back just for a second, if I can. When the whole world, there's a lot of coaches and consultants. And, one thing about branding is you want to stand out.
Right.
And so I was really, really thinking of how can I stand out, even with the name of what people call me. And, it's so amazing that, if you anyone have kids or been around kids say the amazing things. So one day we were at a mall here in Atlanta and all my family was here in town. And you know how sometimes they have the fashion shows out in the center atrium? Mm-hmm. And we asked the young man, was it okay for us to take a picture? Because it was obviously, me being in media, I love having a great background. So we wanted to take a picture real quick there. He said that was fine. And my niece, they hear everything you say, right, kids?
Right.
So I was talking to my sister and my mom and my dad about, I need to figure out what I want people to call me. And so we were walking up the steps and my niece said, she was 11 at the time. She said, Aunt May, you should call yourself the platform builder because you connect people and you take people from one step to the next. And everybody was like, okay, what did she say? So from that time forward, I became the platform builder. Okay. And I told her I need to send her an invoice because she did branding. So that's how it all started. And what I do is, in a nutshell, I help people identify their purpose if they're not aware. And then we build a platform to be seen, because you got to be seen, you got to be heard in order to be paid. So we build that platform all the way from the idea to launch, from the idea to monetization. And the thing about it, Brandon, what people don't realize is your purpose is something easily achievable by you. So it'll be something like you're the best person to cook a pound cake. You're the best person to do a website. You're the best person to do this type of hairdo or even fix a car. For somebody else, that is very hard because I'm not going to mess with a website, Brandon. I'm going to delegate it, okay? But the thing about it is it's easily achievable by you. But guess what? People will they will pay for it. And they will pay a lot of money, high ticket, depending on how you actually put the package together. And actually, you got to make sure, as I said earlier, your mindset has to be right because you have to believe in it yourself. And then other people will actually buy into it because they say, wait a minute, she really give me a feeling that she care about me. And then people will pay to actually have a better life.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I 100% agree with that. And I feel like you said, you have to believe in it and know it to be true. I think a lot of people just don't have the confidence. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying earlier about having that steady mindset is you need to be a confident person in what you do, because if you aren't confident in what you do, other people are going to feel that. And they're going to know that maybe he's not the best person, or maybe she's not the best person for me, because confidence is intoxicating to other people. And if you're able to see someone who's confident in themselves, you're like, wow, I want to be that person, or I want to know that person, or whatever the case might be. And I think that especially on social media, you need to have confidence, because social media can be amazing and it could also be very toxic. And not intoxicating, but very toxic. And you have to be confident in yourself, because once you start growing and you have a platform, you're going to have haters, right? There are going to be people that are going to be bullies. They're going to be saying all sorts of nasty things that are not true. And you just have to be confident in yourself to overcome those challenges and understand that, I've never had a hater that was doing better than me. So don't let them bring you down to their level. Just ask them how you could improve to make them feel more confident in you. So I think that's a great topic in general, is just being confident on social media, and especially being confident in general. I think that's a huge thing, and people definitely need to build their confidence. I see it all the time on social media that they try and sell something, but just their confidence is showing that it's kind of lacking. And I always talk about confidence. I mean, there's a picture of me with a tutu on, so it's definitely. I love the whole branding aspect too that you focus on, because for me, I invest in real estate. I do boring passive income. I do recurring income. And my picture is of Mr. Monopoly in a sense, because it's me with a cane on my Facebook, on all my little platforms. So that is kind of my branding, because I invest in real estate. So how do you actually take someone, say, just starting out, step by step, like from branding to monetizing? I mean, that seems like a very long stretch. Is there any kind of tips you can give some people on how you actually take them through the process?
Yes, Brandon, a great question. You know, you may have heard this little slang that people say, you sell by listening, you sell by listening.
Mm-hmm.
I have become a great listener. So usually I get people on an onboarding conversation and I just let them talk. Just like you did so wonderfully, Brandon. You asked me, tell me a little bit about yourself. So as they talk, I jot down certain things. And a lot of times they actually make their own products and services by what they say. Because a lot of things, what we miss is the building blocks, as you say. Yes, I want to be on television. Yes, I want a podcast. Yes, I want a book. But what is your why and your mission? So we actually start grassroots. We start all the way back. If you, what did you play with when you were a child? Because a lot of times, especially being in entrepreneurship, we sold some type of, candy or some type of free item when we were a child. And even a lot of us actually were really good with the money, as you said, Monopoly, with the games. So we start from grassroots, and then we actually proceed forward and say, what is your vision? So you probably heard so many people talk about this, but it's called forecasting. Mm-hmm. And so what we do is we take them all the way through what they vision, but we got to start with, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And then of course we go to 1 year, 5 years, 7 years, because we got to have that solid foundation. Brandon, I think that's what a lot of people, and the statistics is sky high of people start in business, but then they don't make it past the first year. They don't make it past the 3, 5, and 7, even 10. So we start from that solid foundation, and then we establish what their why is. And I don't, and no judgment, of course. Your why will be different from mine. It can be you want financial freedom for your children. It may be that you just want to outdo your brother. Or it may be you just want to get out the 9 to 5. Whatever that is, it's okay. Because a lot of people may feel shame about what the mission and the why, but it's no. Because that is what's going to drive you when you say the haters come, when something don't go right, when we put all this money in ads and we like, oops, we got to try it again. But so we start there, and then we do different mindset as we go, because you got to have that mindset. And the great thing that I was very afforded to, Brandon, is in the anesthesia field. If you've heard of anyone that have surgery, sometimes we meet the patient 5 minutes before the procedure. Sometimes I don't even know who the patient is because it's a trauma. Right. So that skill set that I got there, I try to send that over to other people, because people will buy even if they know you're not. Because sometimes on Facebook, you may not see their face. So you got to have your benefits, your features that people can relate to.
Right.
So we go on after that is we find, don't do like I did, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, you can't sell to everybody. So we go through the mind map of who they actually really want to serve in this world. And of course, if you say women or you say men, it may cross over, but we actually need to nail down. I actually even have a name for my avatar. Her name is Kristen Williamson. And the funny thing, Brandon, I met a lady. I said, you're my avatar. You're my ideal client. And it's so amazing. A lot of the features that I had of her, it was true. It was so amazing and divine how that happened. So after we do that, I know people said, oh, Dr. Sun, this is a long road. But we have to make sure the mindset, the foundation, and then after that, of course, we pull in the different packages and services. Now, some people may be great at one-on-one. Some people may be great with group coaching. Some people may be great at different consultation. So we search out and see what's best for them that they're going to be committed to. So that's the key. And then, the life, it just opens up, because social media, can we be honest, has balanced the field. It has leveled the field for so many people. We can have an ad right next to the big boys and the big girls, okay? But we have to make sure we're working in integrity and that we really want to help people. Because no matter what price point, because people, let's say this real quick, Brandon. People always say charge what you're worth. Well, that's a lot of money. Yeah. So what you do is you figure out what you're comfortable in putting out there. And then, of course, as you get more and more clients, you kind of scale it from there. Because you look at the transformation. That's what you charge, the transformation that the people will have. Not on how many years of experience, because look, can I be real? They don't care how many years I went to medical school. They don't even play a point right now. They want to know how I have made all the money I have made. That's what they want to know. And they want to actually be able to do it in their life. So I know that was a long answer, but it's a process. Now, so I love taking people from the idea all the way. Now, of course, this would take some time, but people said, I don't want to wait because, we're a microwave generation. But as we go, we are releasing things. Now, I tell my clients, please don't do the mistake I did. And the mistake I did, Brandon, I started doing a lot of stuff for free. We're not going to do that because we want to train people to actually buy. So we're going to start off charging for even the little things that we're doing. The easy thing I tell people to do is what you're doing is interview people. And then that's a package. Doing Facebook Live, download them, they're a package. So it's an easy way of doing it and making money, because right now, more than ever, people need confidence. They need belief. They need to know that they can do what they were born to do. And that's where you come in to be able to do that.
No, totally. I totally agree. And I think that, like you just said, where you have to start somewhere and you have to, I'm interviewing people, right? So, and a lot of people just starting out might think that they have this amazing offer, and they might not. And they need to start having people do a minimum viable product. Like, for instance, when we were launching our first software, we launched it before it was ready because we thought it was amazing, but just to have, and this goes back to where you're saying charge for everything. When we were launching this piece of software, we didn't know what our people wanted. We had to have them vote with their money. They had to come in, they voted with their money, they tested the project or the product. They told us what they liked, what they didn't like, because we wanted their feedback. We wanted them to help us build it with us, because sure, I might think it's amazing, but Dr. Renee might think it's horrible. And if I can get her to tell me what she likes or what she doesn't like, it's just going to make that product so much stronger. And so it just, feedback and testing and retesting is super important whenever you're launching a product. And I think that, again, like you were saying, where you have a brand behind that, it just strengthens that too. And we're able to launch this product because of social media. And obviously the product is made for Facebook, and we have another tool for Instagram. But if you don't have that feedback and you don't ask your customers what it is that you're doing, and you just give all your products away for free, people are not going to see that as value. They're going to see, oh, it's free. Maybe it's not even worth my time. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys have opted in for an ebook with their email as like a not clickbait, but as a tripwire, and never even read it because you just want to get to the next thing. And a lot of people do this. They give away so much stuff for free, and people want premium, and people will pay for premium. I see this all the time. People think that you need to take people up your value ladder, but airplane companies or airports don't have a value ladder. People buy first class because they want to sit in first class. People buy business class because they want to be in business class. And then obviously there's the coach, and people buy coach because or economy, because they feel they want economy. So you have to give people what they want and ask them what they want and build your products around that. I think so many people fail because they think that they watch this one way of doing business with a value ladder and not get multiple perspectives and test what their offers are. And I think it's so important. I think that what you do is you take someone from the very beginning and teach them how to build out their brand, how to structure their offers, how to actually monetize their offers. And I think that's a great way to take someone from, like you said, grassroots, and bring them up to where they're actually able to share their skill with the world and help more people on their own platform. I think that is amazing. That is what you do. So what is, I mean, you have so many different businesses. You have, well, I mean, how do you have a 9-to-5? I mean, you're an anesthesiologist. How do you have the time to write all these books, help people monetize their offers? Like, give us some tips on that.
I always get that question, Brandon. But you know what? I always have to bring in my, can I drop a couple of names? Is our lovely Chick-fil-A and Walmart. Okay. You may not go there, but why? And McDonald's, why do they work? Do everybody know why do they work? Because they have a system. And so I didn't realize, being an anesthesiologist, think about it. I put patients to sleep, very similar to what a pilot does and taking off in the plane. I have to check all my equipment just like the pilot. I have to make sure everybody's in place before we take off.
Right.
And you got to have your seatbelt on and all those things. And we give you instructions. It's very similar to that. And so it was easy for me, Brandon, to actually do the same thing in my business. I've learned to, and I'm gonna just be honest, to delegate well.
Yeah,
okay,
it's super important.
Because the system does it for me. And we have so many bells and whistles right now in the world, right? Your amazing products that you do in software. The softwares, the systems, they make us look good. I tell my team all the time, "Woo, you guys make me look good." Okay, but people buy from you though. Right. Even though my brand, the different companies have a different name, I'm still the product, the first product. So I've actually, and self-care, I have to throw that in. Self-care is very, very important. Yep. I'm very family oriented. I'm a community-based person. I love going to the shelters and to the food banks and the food pantries. That's just my heart. And I love giving back to the community. And what that does, that energizes me really to be able to do the other things that I do, because I know I'm helping somebody else to go forward in the world. Because let me give you a secret. What I believe is the more money I make, the more money I can move out. I can distribute out, that I can help other people. And of course, we really need this in this season right now, what's going on now. But the thing about it, that's what I do. But self-care is number one. I make sure I do, you've heard people with the affirmations and all that. I make sure I do my meditation and all that in the mornings. And then after that, I hit the ground running, okay?
I love it.
But the system's what makes me look good, man. My team, we have people for different areas, but of course we make sure the customer service is on, about utmost purpose. Sort of like Chick-fil-A, Walmart, make sure our customer service is on point. But I make sure that I'm accessible when needed. Because one thing people mess up sometimes with systems, Brandon, is okay, if something's wrong, the customer paid $15K, you need to answer that question.
Right.
But at the same time, if somebody has bought a little hamburger, they want their answered as well, their questions answered. So I make sure that I'm available to actually make people enjoy the experience. And that's the whole thing with our business. All of that we do is a wonderful experience. We want you to actually be able to talk about us. And I know, like you said, some haters will also, but we want you to be able to share with your friends and family of the amazing experience you had on our platform. And then guess what? That brings in more people, and we're able to help other people walk in their purpose as well.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm a big believer in self-care. I actually started taking this thing called nootropics, which is helps with increasing cognitive ability and cognitive skill. It's pretty amazing. I've only started this last week, and I feel a huge difference. Actually, I believe in. Before I was a trainer, so being able to work out, understand my body. I mean, if you pollute one part of your body, your mind, your body's going to follow. If you pollute your body, your mind is going to follow. So it's super important to take care of both internal and external. Just like we were saying before, with stresses, all these things that add up to our body. Add up with stress, environmental stress, internal stress, just polluting our bodies with alcohol, bad food, all these different things just add up to more stresses on the body. And I'm not going to rehash what we just said, but it is super important to take care of yourself. And to help other people. I mean, I think I kind of have like a 4-pillar thing where you have to work on your internal body. Your mindset is number 2. External, how you look and how you feel and how you present yourself to others. And then environment, you have to help other people achieve their purpose. And I love that you're helping other people achieve that purpose. Once you make enough money and you're able to take care of yourself and your family, you start looking outward to help other people. And I think that's what me and you both do, is we're there to help people achieve whatever their purpose is. If that's to, like you said in the very beginning, beat their brother in making more money, or help 1 million people get out of poverty, whatever that is, that life mission, having money just helps you do it faster. And I think a lot of people just think money is as a currency, when in reality, it's just a tool to allow us to do things faster. It allows us to hire a team, buy systems, create systems to save us time so that we can help on a higher level. And it's just amazing that people think that money is just some kind of paper thing, when it really, in reality, it allows us just to go faster. And it's funny because and you were saying this earlier, but the velocity of money, of how money is actually spent. Like if I give someone $100 at the bar, he's going to take that money to pay for the alcohol, and then that person's going to pay for money for whatever the chemical compounds to make that alcohol is. And it's just how it circles and how fast we're able to exchange money. I think that's a very interesting topic that I've been actually researching, of how the speed of which money and the velocity of which money is actually spent. It's really fascinating. So what is like your favorite or your best, or I guess most fun person that you've actually helped find their purpose? I mean, is there any wild stories that you have for us that someone has this wild purpose, like they wanted to beat their brother in making more money or whatever it is?
I think the most memorable was it was a young lady, and she was a single mom, and she wanted to go. This is on my nonprofit side. Then I'll tell you on my business side. She wanted to go to college, and she had 6 kids, and no one in their family had been to college. None. And she had this dream, and she cried the whole time she told me about it. And the thing about it is, this stemming on what you said about currency. She wanted to go and actually take care of people's skin. And the reason she wanted to be an esthetician is because everyone used to always talk about her, how bad her skin was. And, of course, kids go through the acne stage,
Right.
And so if you know anything about that type of schooling, really, you could be finished with it less than a year. Well, she did it. We paid for it, our nonprofit. And you know, she has her own company now, and she has franchised.
Wow. That's
I mean, it's
amazing.
in Florida, it's in Alabama, it's in Georgia, and it makes me cry every time I think about it. But see, that's what I was created to do.
Right.
Now, on the business side, we had a young man that actually he wanted to actually tell people about believing in themselves, because for so long he did not. He didn't believe in himself because he actually, as people, put the stereotype of, being hyperactive, but he's a genius. Testing, he's a genius, okay? But no one took the time to really listen to what he wanted to do in life. So his parents called me one day and they say, Dr. Sunday, and there's some social media it just seems like you would listen to him. And so we actually started working together, and it took us really, honestly, from foundation on up, it took us really about 9 months to a year to really get the whole platform established. But can I tell you what he does now?
Yeah, definitely.
He trades stocks.
That's amazing.
He trades stocks. And I'm just really a little person on that. But he trades stocks. That's what he wanted to do, because he didn't want anyone to not fulfill their dream. So he's really using his money as a tool, but he's teaching other people actually how to do it as well, because so many people was not taught growing up about finances.
Right.
I mean, you may have heard their parents talk about it, but my parents didn't play. We actually had a bank account and everything we did, we had to do it. They didn't spare the rod, okay? But a lot of kids don't get that education, and so he makes that happen. And actually, he has a program here in Atlanta in one of the charter schools. So it went from just patience, and it actually amazing now that he's making all these millions of dollars in the stock market, even in good time, bad time. You got to know when to do that, right? So I think that was the most fulfilling experience that I've had. And of course, on the publishing side, so many people that never thought they could have anything with their name on it. That has always been a joy. It's like you having a baby. I know men, y'all, you can, but you know how we ladies, when we go through having a baby, but it's like you birthing a baby when someone is accomplishing their dreams and goals. So it's always makes me very humble that I'm part of the process to assist someone on obtaining their dreams. And then too, when they send me the receipts, as we say, how much money they making, I'm like, yes, this is amazing. So they know it was worth the hard work.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
You got to do the work.
You have to. And so many people just don't do the work. I mean, I see so many people on social media and they focus only on social media and they don't worry about all the other things that you need to do, like have a website, start building your list, start collecting social proof and testimonials. They just post on Facebook and hope that they make a sale today. And that's what's so important about having systems. To go back to what you were saying, is you have to have systems. You have to have a system and a framework to be able to grow where you want to be. Like, so many people think they're working on, making their first $1,000 day, and they're hoping to make millions. And I'm just like, well, you need to have stepping stones. You need to learn how to make your first 100,000 before you make your first million. And the way you do your business at making 100,000 is going to be much different than when you're doing it for $1 million. So I think that a lot of people need to take a step back, reevaluate kind of what their systems are, their frameworks are, maybe start learning new skills, like maybe even have a website or start collecting a list. And so many people don't even collect phone numbers today, which, I mean, when was the last time you didn't look at a text message? I mean, I always look at my text messages. So many people don't do things like mini chat, where, when was the last time you didn't check your messenger on Facebook? All these little things you can do because there are systems and frameworks that you could do to grow your business on autopilot. I mean, you don't have to have a whole team. You don't have to have, all these different people in your business. I mean, you could have a lean business. For us, we have systems, we have marketing software. I have one developer who's pretty amazing, actually. He's a genius, and I'm lucky to have him because he makes me look good. But like you said, I am kind of the figurehead of that. I have to show people that I am credible, that I am confident in what I have, and I'm able to pretty much show people how they can use our software to kind of help them save time. I mean, we have to buy back our time. I mean, that's what a lot of us do that are now in successful businesses. We spend as much money as we can to save and preserve our time so that we can free up and help people do bigger things. And I think that so many people don't realize that they need systems and tools to free up their time, because there are so many tools out there that allow us to help on a higher level because we are buying back our time. And I want to go back to actually where you were talking about your nonprofit and how this entrepreneur had bad acne, and now she has this huge franchise of, not makeup artists, but skincare. And then the other guy who wasn't confident, it's funny because entrepreneurs tend to do things that kind of they had problems with as a kid. And I know for me, like, I've been horrible at, I had a speech impediment when I was a kid. I couldn't say my S's. And now I want to prove people wrong because I want, like, at the beginning of the year, I wanted to speak on stage. And that was kind of like a goal of mine. And I didn't think I would ever do it because I thought that maybe people would laugh at me, or I would stutter, or I would, lose my train of thought. And I do that all the time still. But, it's a skill that we have to learn and develop. And everything, I mean, it's funny because when a lot of people think that they are bad with technology, or they make all these excuses why they couldn't do that. But when you were born, the doctor didn't hold up you as a child and be like, this kid's not going to be good with technology, or this kid is not going to be on stage. Like, that doesn't happen. Everything you can learn is a skill, and people like Dr. Renee Sunday can help you develop those skills much faster if you have a coach. And I think that is so important to realize, that a lot of people need to just put in a little bit of effort and develop a skill set, and then you can monetize it. And a lot of people it's so crazy because a lot of people, if they were really good at something, and I love that you actually take them back to their grassroots, because a lot of those skill sets that you enjoyed as a child, like, other people want to learn that. Like, I remember and I've made a lot of money by all sorts of different aspects of business or real estate investing. But I remember as a kid, I loved playing video games, and I used to get paid to play video games, actually. And I was a huge fan of World of Warcraft. I still am. And I used to actually get paid to play that video game. And I think that is just amazing that people will actually pay you to do something that you love. So how do you actually find your purpose? I mean, how do you monetize something that you're passionate about, but how do you know other people are going to be passionate about it too?
I have to say this real quick, Brandon. I had the same problem. I could not say that STR word as a child. Street. I could not say it. So it's amazing. But anyway, your question is, how do you find your purpose? Let me do this quick exercise that I tell all my clients, and they say, I am not in the third grade, but it's real simple. If you take a sheet of paper, and I know millennials, you want to use your phone, you can. You can go to the note section, but on one side, you need to put the things that you like to do, things that bring you joy.
Right.
Okay. And then on the right side, things you do not like to do. Of course, this is, no judgment. I always tell people, don't put not liking to cook, because we have, our body, we need to have food, we need to have water and that type of stuff. But on the left side, go back and look at the things and put them in a category of 1, 2, and 3. Which one that, I love to do. I would do with my eyes closed. I would do if you wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't need any instructions. And so usually we put them in 1, 2, 3, and then we say which one, and we talked about this earlier, that we can make money and a quick faction. Now, not no overnight thing. Now, let me put that on there.
Yeah.
But something that actually won't take 5 years or 3 years to do. So usually we start with that. So whatever your 1, 2, 3 is, because you can do it, you have it already here in your mind. We just need to put it on paper. Okay, you already have the confidence in it. And so people usually are amazed with that exercise. It's like, wow, I didn't know I was good at talking. I didn't know I was good at, preparing a cake. I didn't know I was good at talking to people. And that makes the best real estate people, right? The best sale people that love to talk. Okay.
Yeah.
And so usually and then as you said earlier, we actually make sure that we learn and, as we say, feed that craft, because a lot of things have changed. Just how you had to do with your amazing software and with real estate, we have to keep up with what's going on right now in the world, right? And so we actually make sure we take skill sets. And the great thing of having a mentor or coach, they'll give you those ideas because they have been through it or they are versed with it. And then number 2, the accountability.
Right.
Let me tell you, if you get the accountability, you own, because we'll procrastinate on a lot. People can say that they're fearful of doing it, but a lot of people, guess what? They're fearful of being successful, because what happens with that, here come, like you said earlier, the haters. Here come the haters. Here come the haters, right? And it also another level of accountability.
Right.
Okay, so usually that's how we start that frame. And next thing, then when we get number 1 together, we go back and make number 2, do number 3. And so you actually can have a whole funnel, if you will. We've heard that famous word set up, but you actually have to make sure 1 is stable before we actually go to another type of business, number 1, or another form of that business that you're doing right now. And that's what the lady actually did with this. She already knew the products because she knew what helped her face. So, the next thing is to get that in a formulation, right? Then the next thing is find a company that can do it. Then you got to go through all the different, here in the United States, the things you have to do to make a private label product. Then, of course, brick and mortar, we have to bring Brandon in to get the real estate. So, the thing about it, so it's a step-by-step process, but it's that 1, 2, 3 that you're actually easily achievable by you. And the thing about it, if you're entrepreneurs, usually it's a whole list on that left side, but we got to make sure we stabilize 1. Now, some people are overachievers. Okay, I have my hand up. That we do 2 and 1, because I was doing the TV show and the radio show and the publishing company all at the same time. But you got to make sure you have a coach that can handle you in that.
Right.
You have to find a coach and a mentor that's able, like Brandon himself, that does the software, real estate, the investment, someone that actually can handle your gift. Because let me let you know, a lot of people, and I know you guys know this, a lot of people on social media in this world, they say they can do one thing, but really, when you get on their back end, are they really doing it?
Right.
Okay, I've been there. I've spent, and I usually say I don't spend money for waste. It's always a learning experience.
Right.
So I always learn what I make sure I don't do in my business, because I don't want someone else to feel like I did, that they didn't get their value, as we spoke about earlier. So it's an easy way of doing it. But then the next thing is accountability. And the next thing with that is actually, I call it walking it out. And what that means is doing actionable steps to make it happen.
Yeah, I love that. Having someone accountable and give you a different perspective. I mean, even you look at the most talented people in sports or in coaching or whatever, they all have coaches to help them up their game. And it allows them to do that 1 extra set, or allows them to do that 1 extra pass, or that 1 extra dunk. Whatever that is, it forces someone to level up their game, even if they don't want to, because all of us don't have self-doubt, but maybe we're just a little bit tired today, or, we want to take a day off, but you have someone there that's accountable, that wants you to succeed and needs you to succeed because they see that in you. And I think that is huge. So like when is someone should start looking at getting a coach or a mentor? Like, is that something you do right away? Is that something you do a year, or you have your brand? How does that kind of look like?
Ooh, I can tell you, ooh, Brandon, you just got some amazing questions. I can tell you from my own experience right away. Okay, right away. You know, and looking at myself, when I continue to have those dreams and that fun and feeling inside when I was, you know, working in the hospital, you know, like, dog, I just want more. I want to be able to help more of the world and help people. I should have, in hindsight, I should have actually reached out to somebody when I had that funny feeling inside. Not a bad feeling, but it was just a feeling that I wanted to just spread my wings, if you will. That's when I should have. So I tell people right away, just have that. It's all about a conversation. Just have a conversation. I just have this feeling that I want more. And then if you get a coach like myself, or you know, run into Brandon, they're gonna talk to you and we're gonna listen to you, right? And so when we listen, we're gonna take notes and pull out that valuable information that you actually can have your own platform. You can actually, you know what comes next. We have to monetize it. Right. So I say right away. Now I've heard people say, it's some other thoughts out there. People say, make sure try it yourself for a while and then get a coach. But my thing is, we pay for what we want to pay for. I know that's an ouch for a lot of people. But if you can actually make something that should have been 10 years and decrease that by half or even more than that, count me in.
Right.
And I want to be with someone that actually that's one, have done it, and two, that's still doing it, and then of course successful. Because I'm like, wait a minute, give me the secret so I can not make these mistakes.
Well, I mean, that's the great thing about having a coach is, I mean, it's funny, all growing up, you always hear like there's no shortcuts in life, or there's, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's all bullshit, because like there are shortcuts in life. Like life is a game. And that's why I love video games so much as a kid, because there are cheat codes in life. You can hire someone like Renee, Dr. Renee Sunday, and give you the cheat codes to level up your life. And I think that is so amazing that we're able to fast forward time in a sense just by hiring a coach, so we don't have to stumble on all these issues that we might come across, because we've had Dr. Renee Sunday here to guide us on how to actually get over those hurdles, or find that secret password that, you know, we needed to take it to that next level, like hiring a team or branding or whatever that is. I mean, a lot of people don't even have a brand on social media. They don't even have an LLC. They don't have, you know, a entity to their name. And I think that a lot of people just don't take their business seriously. And so, Renee, how can more people find out about you if they're looking to hire you as a consultant to take them to their next level, or to start them from their grassroots and get them where they need to be?
Oh, great question, Brandon. Well, you know, Brandon, you've just been so amazing. But branding is so important. So reneesunday.com, right? But then you say, wait a minute, didn't she say she was a doctor? So I got you right there. So you can put DR reneesunday.com. It'll go to the same reneesunday.com. But you know, Brandon, everything goes down in the DM nowadays. So you can DM me on any of the social media platforms. We even on TikTok. We everywhere. Okay. You can DM us or inbox, whatever that, you know, the name for it on that platform, and we'll take care of you. Because I want you to know you got to be in your purpose. Because I feel this way. I'm not really truly in my purpose if Brandon is not in his, if you're not in yours. It does take the whole village, as we said, you know, in the old times. And so we want you to actually be there. So contact me, because it's only a conversation of how we can take you to the next level.
I love that. I love that. So Dr. Renee Sunday on all the platforms, on social media, on the address, on the website. You can hit up all those links. I'll provide all her books if you want to get her books in the show notes. Her website. So if you guys are on YouTube or listening to this on a podcast, definitely check out the show notes so you can easily find her. I'll even include all of her social media links so that you guys can easily slide into her DMs and make sure that you're in contact so that you guys can live in up your purpose and help more people find their purpose. So thank you so much, Dr. Renee Sunday. This has been actually one of the best podcasts, I think, just because of your energy, how much you want to help and change people's lives, their lives. Thank you so much, Doctor. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to talk to you again. You are an amazing woman.
Thank you so much.
I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.